You walk out the door. You feel guilty on the drive. You wonder for a second whether they are okay. And then you get to work, and you stop wondering. Here is what you do not see. The silence that settles after the door closes. The listening that starts. The waiting that does not stop until they hear your key in the lock again. Your dog has been trying to tell you they are lonely. They have been telling you for weeks, maybe longer. And the signals have been there every single day in things you probably looked right past. There are 8 of them. And sign 7 is the one that hits the hardest because it is the quietest one. Stay with me.
We are going through all 8. What each sign looks like, what is actually happening inside your dog when it appears, and the specific thing you can do about each one. By the end of this, you will see your dog differently, and you will leave the house differently too.
Before the 8 signs, you need to understand one thing, because it explains why so many owners miss this for so long. Dogs do not withdraw when they are lonely. They do not go quiet and wait for you to notice. They compensate. They absorb. They keep going with the same amount of love they had yesterday while carrying something you cannot see. The signs that something is wrong are rarely dramatic. They are small. A slight change in how they greet you. A new habit that appeared gradually enough to feel normal. A behavior you put down to age or mood. None of what follows is proof of a bad owner. Every sign on this list is your dog doing the best they can with what they have, and every one of them is fixable. Sometimes with a change that takes 30 seconds, sometimes with one that takes longer. But nothing on this list is too far gone. Here is what to look for. Sign 1. They howl or bark when you leave. Not every bark, not the bark at the postman. The sound that starts after the door closes and carries through the walls. In the wild, dogs howl to locate the pack. When a pack member is separated, the howl is how they say, "I am here. Where are you?" Your dog is not making noise for the sake of it. They are sending out a signal to the only pack member whose location matters. The mistake most owners make is responding when they hear it, coming back, calling through the door, shushing them. That response, however well-intentioned, teaches your dog that howling works. It brings you back, so they howl longer next time. The fix is not silence from your end. It is giving them something worth focusing on before you leave. A stuffed toy, a chew, background audio that has been running for 5 minutes before your departure. Anything that occupies the nervous system before the anxiety has a chance to spike. You are not distracting them. You are giving them a job while you are gone. Sign 2. They destroy things in your absence. You come home to a chewed cushion, a shredded sock, something that definitely was not like that when you left. This is not mischief. It is not defiance. It is not your dog knowing better and doing it anyway. Chewing releases endorphins. When a dog is flooded with anxiety, the low-grade cortisol of being alone, the uncertainty of not knowing when you are coming back, the repetitive motion of chewing gives the nervous system something to do with the tension. They are not destroying your things. They are self-medicating with the only tool available. There is a second layer. Clothes, shoes, and items you have handled frequently carry your scent at the highest concentration. A dog who chews specifically your belongings is a dog seeking the chemical closest to your presence. That is not aggression. That is longing. Punishment after the fact makes this worse. They cannot connect the consequence to the act. What they learn instead is that your arrival is unpredictable, sometimes safe, sometimes frightening. Address the loneliness, and the destruction follows. Sign 3. They follow you from room to room. They were asleep. You stood up to get a glass of water. By the time you reached the kitchen, they were behind you. Some breeds do this by nature. Retrievers, shepherds, spaniels, and for them it is partly wiring. But there is a difference between a dog who follows contentedly and one who cannot let you out of sight without visible anxiety.
Watch what happens when you close the door behind you. A dog who simply follows is relaxed in the waiting. A dog who paces, whines, or stares at the door is a dog whose attachment has crossed into insecurity. The fix is not to stop allowing them near you. It is to build their confidence when they are on their own, rewarding calm, independent moments deliberately rather than only giving attention when they seek it. The goal is a dog who chooses to be near you, not one who cannot bear to be without you. If you have already seen your dog in one of those three, you are not a bad owner. You just did not know what you were looking at. Hit like so this reaches other owners who are missing the same signs right now. Keep watching. Sign 7 is the one I mentioned at the start. It is the quietest one and the most important.
Sign 4. They stop eating with the same enthusiasm, not refusing food entirely, just leaving a little, eating more slowly, showing less urgency around meal times than they used to. Appetite is one of the most reliable emotional barometers a dog has. When cortisol levels are elevated over a sustained period, which is what chronic loneliness produces, the body's hunger signals dampen. It is the same mechanism in humans. Stress does not make you want to eat the way joy does. The key word is change. If your dog has always been a slow eater, that is their baseline. What matters is a shift from what was normal for them. A dog who used to sit alert by their bowl 10 minutes before feeding time and now wanders over slowly when you put it down, that shift means something.
Sign 5. Their sleeping patterns change, sleeping more than usual, or sleeping in places they never used before. A closet, behind the sofa, somewhere enclosed and hidden. Excessive sleep is one of the ways depression presents in dogs, and loneliness, sustained over time, becomes depression. They are not resting because they are tired. They are withdrawing because the waking world offers less than it used to. The enclosed spaces matter too. When a dog seeks out a small, contained spot, they are reducing the sensory field around them. Less space to monitor, less environment to manage, fewer reminders of the absence. It is a coping strategy, not a comfortable one.
Sign 6. They groom themselves excessively, licking the same paw for longer than it needs, chewing at a patch of fur, scratching in the same spot repeatedly. Repetitive self-grooming in the absence of a medical cause is a displacement behavior. The body needs to do something with the anxiety, and the repetitive motion of licking or chewing provides the same endorphin release as chewing objects does. It is self-soothing through the only tool immediately available. Over time, this creates physical problems: hot spots, bald patches, skin irritation. By the time those appear, the behavior has usually been going on for weeks. The grooming started long before the skin did. If you notice a new groove, a paw they return to, a spot they always seem to be attending to, it is worth a vet check first to rule out physical causes. If those come back clear, the question becomes what is happening emotionally that this behavior is trying to manage.
2 signs left. Sign 7 is the one that catches most people off guard because it looks like nothing. Share this before we get there. Someone you know is missing this in their dog right now. Then stay for the last one.
Sign 7. They seem fine when you leave. This is the one nobody talks about, and it is the one that matters most to understand. A dog who explodes into distress when you leave is easy to identify as lonely. A dog who watches you go calmly, turns around, and settles. That dog looks fine. Most owners feel relieved. Some of those dogs are genuinely secure. They trust you to come back, and they rest in that certainty. But some of them have learned that distress does not bring you back. They have stopped signaling because signaling did not work. The loneliness is the same. The protest has stopped. Behaviorists call this learned helplessness. The dog is not okay. They have simply run out of responses. The way to tell the difference is what happens inside the house while you are gone, not at the door.
A camera on your dog's resting space will show you more in 10 minutes than any behavior at the threshold ever could. A dog who settles within a few minutes and rests calmly is genuinely fine. A dog who paces, scans, changes positions repeatedly, or cannot settle for more than a few minutes at a time, that dog is managing, not resting. And management is not the same as okay.
Sign 8. They overreact when you come home. Jumping, spinning, crying, a level of reunion that seems disproportionate to how long you were gone. Every reunion is their Christmas morning. That joy is real and it is beautiful. But when the intensity of it is extreme, when they cannot come down for 10 or 15 minutes, when it tips into urinating, when they are still pacing 20 minutes after you walked in, it is telling you something about the quality of the waiting. The hours you were gone were longer for them than they were for you. Not because dogs do not understand time, because they felt every minute of it. Do not suppress the greeting, but do not amplify it either. The calmer you arrive, the faster they settle. And a dog who learns that arrivals are calm and unremarkable is a dog whose departures start to feel the same way. 8 signs. Here is what they are telling you. 1. The howling after the door closes. They are calling for the pack. Give them something to do before you leave. 2. The destruction. They are self-medicating with the only tool available. Address the loneliness, and the chewing follows. 3. The following. Watch the quality of the waiting. Confidence needs to be built, not just closeness. 4. The appetite shift. Cortisol is dampening hunger. A change from their baseline is the signal. 5. The sleeping changes. Withdrawal into enclosed spaces is a coping strategy, not a preference. 6. The grooming. By the time the skin shows it, the behavior has been going on for weeks. 7. The dog who seems fine when you leave. A camera will tell you more than the threshold ever could. 8. The reunion that does not come down. The intensity of the greeting reflects the quality of the waiting. None of this makes you a bad owner. It makes you an owner who now knows what they were looking at. That is the whole difference. Drop your dog's name in the comments and tell me which of these 8 you recognize today. I read every single one, and what I see there shapes what we cover next. Subscribe if you want the follow-up, because the next video covers the 5 things you can do before you leave that actually calm your dog's nervous system.